Apparently, that's because of Bheki Cele. This gets interesting. So, I don't know how true this is, right? But when the bust happened, Bheki Cele was still the Minister of Police. And now, rumor has it, right? I feel like I'm gossiping. As boys. But apparently, right? But I'm snitching. I feel like ngiyakopos. Okay, let me compose myself. Let me get my composure. Right. Apparently, when Bheki Cele was the Minister of Police, right? This beef between the National Commissioner versus the Minister of Police, it's an inherited thing. So it started off with the Bheki Cele, then it moved on to your sense of Mchunu versus Mkhwanazi dynamic. So back then it was Bheki Cele versus, I think, Usbiya, if I'm not mistaken. I stand corrected. When the drugs were busted, right, in Durban, and I'm not sure if this is still the same case, but there's actually some, I don't want to say evidence, but there's another story that I was following up on. When the drugs were busted in Durban, ironically, Bheki Cele demanded that they be brought to Johannesburg and actually secured. No, not actually brought to Johannesburg. He took over and wanted them to be secured, right? Which was strange for Usbiya, who was the national commissioner, because that's his jurisdiction. It has nothing to do with the Minister of Police. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The national commissioner at the time, Usbiya, decided that he doesn't agree with the fact that Bheki Cele said the drugs must be taken to location X. He then demanded that the drugs be brought back, apparently, and this is according to Dev, I think, yeah. So he demanded that the drugs be brought back, so they took back the drugs, right? These drugs are just interesting. Then Bheki Cele decided, no, he's going to go and speak nonsense about Usbiya. Now, I don't know if the president is also implicated, but apparently Bheki Cele put together a case to get the national commissioner fired, right? A national commissioner got fired. And then, shit, man, I don't know if I'm getting this correctly, but I might not be getting the actual facts according in sequence. I'm just going to go with what I can recall. So, I think it was before he got fired. Bheki Cele then, for some reason, took over those drugs, took them to Johannesburg. Oh, actually, no, he did get fired. And then Bheki Cele took those drugs, since now he was free to do it all willy-nilly, took those drugs, brought them to Johannesburg. Apparently, when those drugs arrived, there's another person, I don't know, I think he's of Indian descent. I forget his name, I forget his surname. He think he's an Indian, but then he's also high ranking police officer. When the drugs were transported here to Johannesburg, apparently another contingency again of police found it suspicious. And there was a standoff between the Bheki Cele Commission police and the actual police. And what was crazy about that was when that standoff happened, the way those drugs were being handled, it didn't seem as if it was a crime scene. Right. It didn't seem, not necessarily a crime scene, but the mannerism in which that was handled, it showed that the police that were transporting those drugs were actually corrupt. They were trying to steal those drugs. So there's again that standoff again, I think, here in Johannesburg between the containers and the trucks that you're mentioning right now. Once again, Bheki Cele, apparently, guys, this is all allegedly. Right, this is all allegedly. Apparently, Bheki Cele contingency won, and somehow those drugs started appearing in the streets of Johannesburg and in nightclubs. I don't know how true that is. I'm going according to what advocate therefore said, and I'm paraphrasing here as well. It's an interesting rabbit hole.